Big challenges ahead for the Celtics over the next 4 games. 2 against Cleveland, 2 against Orlando. This is a pivotal time in the season for Boston. Let's explore that right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Boston, baby, we do what you can't. Locked on number 18, Tatum and Brown, J-team, step back. We gon' wet that and slay teams. Of course, the Celtics, who else could it be? Screaming like KG with the Larry O.B. Karalis above average, assessing the team status. Best daily pod, no cap salary matching. Clutch like Bird the DJ, keep John on replay. Prime time, dapping up the truth on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners. Big.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast. We're here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and I got you every day with a free, fresh podcast that's dropped directly to your device if you subscribe. So if you're not subscribed yet, this is a great time to hop on board. You can do so on the YouTube channel. Hop in the comment section there. Let me know what you think. I'm John Karalis. I used to play a long time ago. Now I cover the Celtics for Boston Sports Journal. I want to start today by sending condolences out to my sister, who lost her husband today, Monday, December 11th, to pancreatic cancer. I apologize for the somber start to the show, but I'm doing this because I'm using the show as a bit of a fundraiser for her. This puts her in a real tough spot. And so what we're doing is we've created a GoFundMe. Now, I've put the thing here up on the URL here up on my YouTube page. If you're watching, if you're listening, it's basically KARAL.is. It's my last name, Karalis, with the dot before the IS /GoFundMe. And if you go and donate there, if you donate $100 or more, I'm going to put you into a raffle to co-host this show with me. A full episode. You're here. You're just like Tom Westerholm. You're going to hop in. You're going to join me. You're going to give me your thoughts. We're going to bounce back and forth. If you donate $25 up to 100, you can join me for a segment. You're kind of like a guest on the show. So go to it's Karalis, KARAL.is /GoFundMe. And at some point, maybe by the end of the week, I'll figure out who's going to, who the winners are. So if you can do that, it'd be a great help to me. I would love to have, I'm looking forward, honestly, to having some of you on the show. It's going to be, I think, a fun show for people to listen to participate in, and all of that. Meanwhile, we got actual basketball to talk about, and we're going to do so with Tom Westerholm, who, there we go, is here to talk about the challenges the Celtics are facing over the next week. Tom, how you doing, my man? You're muted.
I was muted.
Starting off on a high note.
Well, just to piggyback off what you were saying, I did just wanted to add that I met your sister at your wedding. Lovely person, and I'm just glad you're able to do something like this. So thank you. And if anybody, and if the winner wants me on, I'm happy to hop on. If they want to do it just you, it's all you. So it can be Tom Westerholm.
Could be
Bliss, or
could be a trio, could be a triple threat type of thing. That's also a possibility here.
Certainly.
So, it's all kind of fly by the seat of your pants. My sister is the best. We have a very close family. So we're rallying around her. I'm trying to, be strong for her. And, hey, look, we've got this platform. We've got this way to kind of help her out. And I think what we're going to end up doing is getting a good show out of it. So maybe the person who joins us can actually show us how to podcast, because I don't know that we've figured it out. I think
the intro might be a little less awkward with the next.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, let's easily, calmly, and without any awkwardness switch over to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who the Celtics have not played yet this season, but man, they have given the Celtics problems in the past. They are big. They have very large people who play for them, and have given the Celtics problems because of that. Then after that, you play 2 games against Cleveland. You play 2 games against the Orlando Magic, who we know turn into the Harlem Globetrotters, plus 2014 San Antonio Spurs when they played the Celtics. Mo Wagner becomes LeBron incarnate, like just a clone. And so this is a big stretch here for the Celtics. Do you think this is how critical do you think this stretch is for the Celtics?
I think it's an important one. I mean, and to your point, like this is a weird one, right? Because like this, like 2 games against Cleveland and then 2 games against Orlando. Like just a weird setup, a weird season so far. Like before we even get into like how good the Cavaliers are, weird. Like so many games against the Sixers already, so
Yeah.
many games against the Knicks. Period.
Yeah.
This weird home and home back to or not even home and home, just like home for the Celtics
Home, home, home,
against
home. Yeah.
home. Like what a weird start to the season. And I'm sure some of it is affected by the in-season tournament. I'm sure like that
Oh, yeah.
that clearly that played a part, but just bizarre. But yeah, I think it's definitely important. I think you look at Orlando, like that team is genuinely good and has given the Celtics absolute fits. You look at the Cavaliers, that team is good. They've given the Celtics fits. Like I'm fascinated to see how, I mean, Donovan Mitchell is the kind of guard who has given the Celtics hell over the years, right? Like that guy can,
Mhm.
he's that kind of like explosive, dynamic guard who just like, Marcus Smart was so good at defending so many different things, just not that one specific kind of like archetype,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was very funny because he could, centers, no problem. Like, like power forwards, throw him at him. He's fine. But you throw those real explosive, shifty kind of guards at him, and he just, they kind of gave him fits. So I'm curious, yeah, up and down this Cavaliers lineup. Like there's guys who can bother Tatum. There's guys who can put points on the board. There's, like you said, there's size, there's scoring. There's a lot of stuff here. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how the Celtics' new dynamics, the new players, the new faces, how those all kind of coalesce against a team that has given them trouble in the past.
The one thing that might help them is that Evan Mobley he's out. It's kind of funny. The Cavs and Magic are playing each other as we are recording this
Yeah, they're
show.
playing right now.
They're playing right now. So it's kind of weird that like that happens and then both teams come to Boston.
Yeah.
But Mobley is out, and I don't know if he's going to play in this game. That's a big deal for obviously for the Celtics. That's another big long guy that can bother them at the rim. And the Celtics, like Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they struggle. Jayson Tatum especially has struggled historically against those big shot blocker type of guys. And the Celtics, philosophically don't want to challenge those guys. I'm a big proponent of like going in and good hard challenge at the rim. Like I like trying to dunk on Gobert or Embiid. Like I'm a big fan of trying to do that. But I just wrote a piece on Boston Sports Journal that published a little while ago, and a conversation that I had with Joe Mazzulla, one-on-one, where the philosophy is like you have to identify, they call him X5, the center. So you got X's, you put X's on the board to identify where the defense is. X1 is the point guard, X5 is the center. So he says, you want to identify where X5 is, and you got to try to pull him away from the rim if you can. And if you do, then you can get to the rim and try to finish. But if X5 is around the rim, then you are more likely to just try to kick it and spray it and your drives are more drive and kick type of drives, which can be a little bit predictable. If you see somebody driving and they're going at the rim and Jared Allen is there or Evan Mobley is there, if I'm coaching the Cavs, I'd be like, hey, let the shot blockers handle it. Stay home because they're trying to drive and kick. So stay home on those. So I'm very curious to see how that evolution happens on the drive and kick on that philosophy, or if they do pull out and just say, hey, go for it, go one-on-one. If Tatum or Brown just says, all right, fine, we will actually challenge those guys. But regardless, those guys have been very difficult. Shot blockers in general, those guys in particular, have been very difficult for the Celtics to kind of get past.
I mean, for sure. I will say that like that X5 guy becomes like his job gets a lot harder when Kristaps Porzingis is lining up, on the perimeter, when Al Horford is on the perimeter. And I mean, Horford certainly they had last year too, obviously, but like Porzingis is kind of another level above that, as we've discussed quite a few times. So I do think that will be one of the new dynamics that I'm really curious to watch.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that when we come back, because that's going to be the different part, the different element to this, this, at least the Cleveland matchup. We'll do that in just a minute. Today's show brought to you by Gametime. Gametime is the place to go for last minute tickets. You don't know. Sometimes plans change. Sometimes things fall through. Sometimes somebody shows up out of nowhere and you're like, hey, let's try to do something different. And you open up the Gametime app. You kind of see what's going on around your neighborhood. They got last minute ticket, flash deals, zone deals, last minute tickets. It's just a great place. And not just sporting events, right? Theater, comedy shows, whatever it is, all kinds of events. If they're selling tickets, it's a great chance that it's on the Gametime app. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you show up. All the prices are, you get the all-in price up front, so you know what you're paying. The whole thing is transparency. You know where you're sitting, you know what you're paying. 2 taps, you buy your tickets, and there you go. The flash deals, sponsored deals get you great deals on all of these events. Zone deals where you pick the section. Gametime picks the seats. You can save up to 18% there. And the Gametime guarantee means you're always going to get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section or row for less, then you can get credited 110% of the difference. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKED on NBA for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Sports Today, the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Put it on. If you're bored, if there's nothing on TV, or maybe you're cleaning the house, or maybe you're just whatever at work, put it on in the background, stream it on TV. Sports all day long, our national shows as well. Just everything you need to know 24/7 on YouTube. All right, let's get back into the conversation here with Tom Westerholm. At least with the Cavs in the first 2 games here, very curious to see what the Porzingis effect is going to be. If Mobley's out, this changes the entire dynamic, because now you've got one guy to draw away, and you put, Jared Allen's going to have to cover Porzingis, run, pick, and pop, and then the rim should be open, and the Celtics should be attacking and should be trying to get there as often as possible. And then you set your defense, and then you can get out onto the shooters, and you can kind of like stop Donovan Mitchell's penetration. You can stop Darius Garland from penetrating. Like anything you can do to set your defense against 2 guards that can get kind of wherever they want is going to be very, very helpful. So I think Porzingis is going to be the key here. And I wonder if the loss to Minnesota, where they didn't really pull Gobert away effectively, if something like that's going to be kind of playing into how they play against the Cavaliers.
It's interesting to think about. I do think that the Minnesota loss, like when I watched that game again, like so much of that one just felt like Tatum struggled against Jaden McDaniels, right? Like that guy's disgustingly good. And like, it's just so much easier to, when you can beat your guy, it's so much easier to get kind of Gobert in rotation. Like, I think, I know Timberwolves fans are real high on Gobert right now and everything. And just like what he's done this season. And yeah, he's been good. I mean, he's been, the usual regular season Rudy Gobert, like so he's good for the first 82 games. But like, I think that having Jaden McDaniels was really the piece that elevates that. And I mean, the Cavaliers, they've got some other solid guys. They do not have a Jaden McDaniels. So like, I'm again, another thing I'm curious about. I'm curious to see how that affects, how that ripple effects kind of, that ripple effect keeps kind of moving through the offensive scheme. I was going to get there eventually. How that affects the whole picture, right? Like, because I think it all starts with Tatum, obviously, right? And like Tatum starts the movement, he starts the rotations, he starts the guys coming over to help, and I'm interested to see what it looks like when Jaden McDaniels is not present.
Which, yes, that's going to be very helpful for Jayson Tatum. The Cavaliers do not have the best offense in the world right now. I thought it would be better. They're currently at 111.2 offensive rating, which is 24th in the league. They are behind Toronto. They're behind Washington. They're behind Miami. Like, they're behind teams that you would expect the Cavs, with the shooting that they added, to be a little bit better offensively. They are pretty good defensively. Right now, they are where are they defensively?
They're sixth on cleaning the glass. Yeah,
they're 8th in overall on the NBA stat site. I was looking at their net rating for a second. Their net rating is just over positive. It's just 0.6. So there's an opportunity here for the Celtics. And again, if Mobley is out, they can prove something. And this is where they have to, I think, really show their ability to step up against these potential competitors, potential playoff matchups. The Celtics are terrible at forcing turnovers. I talked about it in last night's show. This is a game where you have to take advantage and maybe get them to turn the ball over a bit. They are at 14.5% turnover percentage. That's 22nd in the league. They turn the ball over. The Celtics don't force turnovers. If they can get out there and bother the Cavaliers and force some turnovers, this could be like what kickstarts them and gets them this win. This is a test of being able to step up in an area where you haven't been good and maybe focus on let's really try to bother them. Let's really try to get into these passing lanes. Let's really try to make them make bad decisions so we can get out there and pile up a 10-2 run or whatever. And guys like Jaylen Brown can see, like I did the on-off numbers. Jaylen Brown has the worst on-off numbers according to Cleaning the Glass for the Celtics of their rotation players. Like, you got to get that back up a little bit, and that's going to be the way to do it. You're going up against a team that's not great protecting the ball. Be great at making them turn it over. Don't give them the out, because if you give them the out, this is going to be a dogfight. And if you step up and you make them you expose that weakness, then you can kind of show yourself as like, okay, yeah, this is the Celtics. This is the big bad Celtics that are on top of the East.
Yeah, dirty little secret that Jayson Tatum MVP proponents are not going to want to bring us, that his on-off has also fallen off quite a bit. Like, he's like 4th on the team right now, like all the way down to like plus 1.9 on cleaning the glass. That's not where you want to be. Great. That's not where you want to be.
No.
Jayson Tatum's usually kind of a plus minus god. Like, that's not great.
As I mentioned yesterday, there's only 2 guys on the team that are pluses offensively and defensively, and that's Derek White and Kristaps Porzingis. So only 2 guys that the offense is better and the defense is better. That's it.
Derek White plus 17.3 when he's on the floor, 98th percentile. That's
why yesterday's graphic was Derek White is a on-off god.
Was that literally what the graphic was?
That's literally what the graphic said.
Because I didn't see it. So, like, yeah, we're mind melt, same page here. Like, Derek White, excellent. Oh my gosh! Like, I wrote on the takeaways the other day, just like, you can't call the Celtics a big three because Derek White is way too good. There you go.
There it is.
Derek White is way too good to be. He's not a role player. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want to call him, but he's not a role player. He's too good.
No, God, no.
Like, no, he's too good. Yeah, no. I think the thing about the Cavaliers that I think it could, and the Magic too, right? But more so the Cavaliers because their offense stinks. If the Celtics, like, if you're drawing up the perfect team for the Celtics to play, it's a team whose defense stinks, right? Like, they're like that. Those are the ones where the Celtics are just like crack the knuckles, like, oh
yeah.
Let's get some buckets. And like, the Cavaliers are not that team, like, they are a team who they have a good defense. That is going to be, harder to deal with, certainly, than, like, I mean, obviously, the Wizards are the extreme example, but you saw like how the Celtics offense operates against a bad defense. And it's just, I mean, it is, it's a bloodbath. And Like teams with a good defense can muck up the game. So I'm curious to see how the Cavaliers do that.
Like, obviously, when you go up against a good defensive team, it's going to be tougher. But the Celtics offense is good enough.
It should be, yes.
To pull that apart. Like, really, they should be good enough to rip that apart at the seams. Like, this is a team, at least with their top 6, that they can get out there and pull, like you said, pull the big away and put him in actions where he's got to make decisions. And really, if they focus, they can move the ball and make even a good defense look bad. That's how good their offense can be. It's not always there. And that plays into some of the mindset that Joe Mazzulla was talking about at practice, which I'll get into a little bit when we come back. First, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Our good friends at FanDuel are the number one sportsbook in America, and that's because they give you great deals, like signing up now at FanDuel.com/lockedon. You sign up, you place a $5 money line bet. Very simple, $5 money line bet. Pick a game, any game. You win, you get your money, and you get $150 in bonus bets on top of that. So if you're a new customer, you want to try it out, this is a great time. You win, any winning $5 money line bet gets you $150 in bonus bets. So now's the time to join FanDuel. Super easy to use the app. Get in there. You scroll around. The different leagues are broken up. The different games, you click on those and you get different options, spreads, player props, over-unders, all that stuff. Same game parlays, so you can stack up bets like Jayson Tatum points, Al Horford 3-pointers, Kristaps Porzingis rebounds, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. You get them all. You can end up maybe getting yourself a little bit of a better payout. So go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. Get yourself going. FanDuel's the official partner of the NFL. The best part about FanDuel is their tools to help you stay protected, keep yourself safe, set your limits using their tools so you can go out there and have some fun, but not too much fun, and you can go ahead and gamble responsibly. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go to johnkaralis.com and you can buy my book, signed, autographed, personalized. Buy it as a gift. Let me know what you want me to say to the person you love. Let me know what you want me to say to you. I can sign it. I can personalize it and send it off. It's a great little Christmas gift for the Celtics fan in your life. Tom, so Joe Mazzulla at practice, he was talking about, it started out talking about the in-season tournament. And he said, he was asked, did you watch it? And he goes, no, which is kind of funny. He's treated it as,
believe him.
I do believe him.
Do you?
I do believe him.
I don't believe Mazzulla on most things after he admitted that he lies. Like, everybody knows that coaches like lie to the media all the time, but it's like, come on, Joe. Now I don't believe anything you tell me.
I don't know. I feel like he might not have watched. Maybe that was some nice family time.
Maybe there you go.
You know,
get in a nice fight in the middle.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but then he got into, I'm going to paraphrase, like the reason why he didn't want to, he treats these games as 1 of 82. It's because it's now the tournament is over and he didn't want to use like the tournament as this big hype thing and be like, okay, yay, we won. Now what? Now you've got the middle of December to the playoffs and there's a letdown. There's a lull. And he said, look, basically the mindset has to be, whatever day it is it in-season tournament championship? Is it a Monday in January? Is it whatever day it is? If you have the right mindset, you're going to have a chance to win that game. And so I think that's a smart way to approach it. I don't know if it's a realistic way to approach it because guys get pumped up for certain nights and they don't for certain other nights. The mindset here is going to be a big thing this week because 2 games in a row against the same team, very playoff-like. There are going to be adjustments made. And then you face the Orlando Magic 2 games in a row. 1 game's a Sunday afternoon. Different kind of circumstances. A a team that has a ton of confidence about you. Their mindset's going to be like, yeah, baby, let's go in there and roll these fools one more time to show them that we're not afraid of them. And the Celtics have to make sure they're not caught up in that type of thing so they can go out there and play their own game, right? Like they can come in there all hype and the Celtics can like, gotta like, no, smack, smack, smack. You're doing it our way and like fall in line.
Yeah, I think those Orlando games. I mean, you started off talking about like, how big are these games? And it's like the Cleveland games are big. Like, you try to win them. Like that's like, to your point, that's a playoff team. Like, go for it. The Magic games. I mean, you gotta show something against these guys because like they keep kicking your butt and like, I don't know, man. Like, beat them. Like you got to beat them. This team's probably going to be in the playoffs. Like if let's say, I don't know where the Magic are going to end up. Like if they have a tough stretch, like, if they end up in like the 7 seed, Celtics are, 2-7 seed, whatever it is, like, or maybe it's the second round, maybe the Magic get through that first round. You don't want to go against a team that's got so much confidence. Like give them some reason to question themselves against you. They have no reason to think that the Celtics, they have every reason to be hyper confident against the Celtics right now. And man, you don't want to I don't want to be like too sports talk radio, but you don't want to let that happen in the playoffs. Like, like don't let that happen in the playoffs. Like, you don't want a Magic team coming in that's just like, hey, like, we've got your number. That's a terrible place to start a playoff series.
So as we're speaking, it's 91-78 Orlando.
They're good.
And they're good. And not only that, this is their last game before they play the Celtics. Yeah. The Celtics are coming off they had 3 days off and they played and they have 3 days off. But this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off for Orlando. So
and that Orlando game is the 3rd and 4 nights, right? Like that's
right.
Oof.
Right. This is going to be mentality, mindset. You got Cavs, day off, Cavs, Orlando on the back-to-back 3rd and 4. And Orlando's going to come in 3 days off. Yeah. And everybody's going to be watching that game because it's like, you got to beat Orlando. And if they don't, it's going to be freaking Armageddon. I got people in the comments being like, I'm not going to be satisfied with a split, blah, blah, blah. And in reality, you're probably going to have to be satisfied with a split.
There's
because
a good chance of a split.
Third and 4 nights, it's going to be tough. Not impossible. And frankly, if they do pull this off, if they can pull off a sweep here and win 4 more in a row, unlikely. But if they can, man, that's a hell of a message. That's a hell of a message for the Celtics heading into a road trip, because after that Orlando game, I think they're heading out on the road after that, right? Like that's it's Cleveland, Orlando. Then they have they leave right after that game. That's why it's an afternoon game.
Yeah.
They got to fly out to Golden State for that big West Coast swing that includes the Lakers on Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's actually pretty appropriate to our personalities. We got the optimist on the Celtics one shoulder saying, if they sweep this would be a big deal. And then we got the pessimist on the other side being like, they better win that first game, because if they lose that one, that's setting a bad precedent for a 4-game stretch where you could really use some wins. I mean, you've got a lot of rest.
The Tuesday game.
Yeah, they better win Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. Because that might be the game without Evan Mobley. So
right,
you better take advantage of life without Evan Mobley.
Who does have a knee thing? Like I don't know how serious the knee thing is, but it's knee things people don't usually screw around with.
Right. So if he's out for at least the Tuesday game, if he's out for both games, that's huge.
That's big time.
So those are that's at least 1 win, maybe 2 here that you got to get. I would be happy winning 3 out of 4. And
because that means you beat the Magic once.
That's right. Got to sneak in those wins against Orlando when you can get them.
This Orlando Magic juggernaut.
So look, man, the Magic are a game and a half behind the Celtics right now. And if they hold on against Cleveland, it'll just be 1 game. They'll be 15-8. I mean 16-7. I'm sorry. So they will be just as many wins, and they played 2 more games than Boston, and they lost those 2. So there's a chance, there's an outside chance that the Orlando Magic could be in first place if the Celtics aren't careful. This is a big stretch. This is an early big stretch for the Celtics. There's no doubt about it.
And Orlando is, I mean, I don't know how many times, like, nobody doubts us. We're not like convincing anybody, but like, and Orlando is not fake. Like their net rating right now is plus 5.8 on cleaning the glass.
They're legit, man.
They are 5th in the NBA, 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Like they are for real. This is a big stretch.
Yeah. Look, point differential is one of those easy stats that you can filter the standings through, and like point differential tells you a lot.
It does.
And the Celtics point differential is tops in the league.
Very good.
That's very, very good. Orlando is 5th. Same thing. It's the same, basically the same stat that you just read out. So Orlando, and then depending on how this Cleveland game goes, that point differential is going to change. But they'll still be right around 5th. So Boston.
Curiosity, what is the Celtics point differential on the NBA? Because cleaning the glass filters out garbage time. Theirs is plus 9.1. What's the Celtics on?
It's plus 8.5.
Okay. So
yeah.
So the bench letting them down. I see.
Bench. Yes, that's right. Boston, Minnesota, Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Philly, then Orlando, which is wow. Interesting.
Houston is 6th.
And look at the Houston Rockets, man. Look at the Houston Rockets. I literally, my eyes went to the same thing yours did.
Yeah.
Houston Rockets better than Milwaukee, better than New York, better than Denver, better than Phoenix, better than LA. Oh my God. I love this early season stuff.
I like this point in the season because there's just enough of a sample size to where you go,
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to hold like this, but it's like is like Houston's cooking with something, you know? It's not so early that it's like completely fake. It's like, there's something there.
There is something there at home. There's nothing there on the road.
Right.
Although their one road win was Denver. It's just like, come on. Which, by the way, Celtics fans, that stuff happens. Like the Denver Nuggets lost to the Houston Rockets at home. So just keep that in mind when you say championship teams don't lose these games. Like championship teams actually do lose those games. So just file that away. Every team has bad losses. The Celtics still don't have one at home. They're the only undefeated team. They're 10-0 at home. That's great. I think they can get to at least 12-0 at home. Can they get to 13-0? Can they get to 14-0? That would be amazing. If they get to 14-0, like they'll head on the road trip and it'll be like, wow. And then we'll do another podcast. Last season, after a certain similar amount of games, the Celtics were cooking. They went to Golden State and everything started to fall apart. This season, they're cooking. We'll see how these next 4 games go. Then they go to Golden State.
Yeah, but it's a different thing. They went to Golden State and they got absolutely sunned. Like they were just like, it was like
I know.
And it was the same team that had just done all the same stuff to them in the finals. This Golden State team just it's like
no, Tom. I'm just saying it's right there. The storyline is right there. I'm just saying.
Storyline. It would be the same storyline if they were going on the road and then face the Heat. Like if they started hot and then they faced the Heat and then the Heat shut them down and did all the forcing turnovers and all that kind of stuff. That I think would be more similar to the Golden State scenario. But
I don't know. Just throwing it out there. The synergy, the what, I don't know what other word I'm going to use there.
Our brains love patterns. So
they do love patterns. They do. A nice Argyle, maybe. All right. I know what word I'm going to use right now. Goodbye.
All right, man.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you as always. And I appreciate all of you who are listening, who are watching. Thank you so much for being here Monday through Friday and on weekends, whenever the Celtics play on a Friday night, like this week, they play on Friday night. So I will do a podcast after the game on Friday night. And I will do a podcast the following week or Saturday, a Saturday afternoon game against the Clippers. Whenever they play, I will do a podcast. So make sure you are subscribed wherever you get your audio podcast, on whichever app, it's there. Apple, Spotify, it's there. Watch a show on YouTube. It's obviously there on YouTube. And hop in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. And you everydayers, you people who are with me Monday through Friday and Saturdays and Sundays, I love you so much. Thank you. I'd love it if you shared the podcast and spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.